She was always hidden inside of him. The first time I felt like I was someone else was when I was 6 years old. I remember standing in my mother's bedroom, holding one of her red scarves in my small hands. The fabric felt soft, warm, and strangely comforting, like it was whispering secrets only I could hear. I didn't know why I wrapped it around my neck and looked at myself in the mirror. I only knew that for a few seconds I felt different. Not wrong. Not ashamed. Just peaceful. My name is Adrian. I'm 27 years old, working as a graphic designer in a mid-sized advertising company in the busy heart of the city. My life looks normal from the outside: morning coffee, crowded subway rides, meetings about brand colors and client expectations, and evenings spent pretending I'm just tired from work. But that's not the whole story. Because inside me, there has always been someone else. Someone softer. Someone who wanted to exist, but was too afraid to breathe out loud. And that someone only comes out when I'm alone. I didn't become a crossdresser because of any single dramatic event. It wasn't a trauma story. It wasn't rebellion. It wasn't because someone forced me. It was curiosity first. Then fascination. Then need. When I started college, I discovered makeup tutorials online. I told myself I was just studying color theory for design work. That was technically true. But at night, I would close my bedroom door, lock it, and practice eyeliner using cheap drugstore cosmetics I bought secretly from convenience stores across the city. I would stare at myself in the mirror and slowly feel like I was meeting another version of myself. Not a different person, just a hidden one. The one I was never allowed to be during daytime life. My girlfriend Mia changed everything. Mia is confident, outspoken, the kind of woman who doesn't just enter a room, she owns it. She works as a junior lawyer, always wearing sharp professional outfits that make people notice her immediately. We met 2 years ago at a cafe near my office. She was arguing loudly with someone on her phone about a legal case while trying to order coffee at the same time. I found it hilarious. She noticed me laughing. Then she walked straight up to me and said, "You have a nice smile. You should use it more." That was it. That was how our relationship started. Mia doesn't know about my secret life. And I am terrified of the day she might find out. Not because I think she would leave me immediately, but because I don't know how she would react. Mia believes in honesty. Brutal honesty. The kind that hurts before it heals. Sometimes when we talk about relationships, she says things like, "If you hide something big from someone you love, you're not protecting them. You're protecting yourself." Every time she says that, I feel like she is looking directly through my chest, like she can see the girl hiding inside me, curled up and waiting. The city I live in is loud at night. Neon lights reflect off wet streets. Motorcycles roar past apartment buildings. People move like shadows carrying their own secrets. My apartment is on the 7th floor of an old residential building. The elevator is always broken, which means I climb 7 flights of stairs every evening while carrying groceries and my secret thoughts. Tonight started like any other night. Except Mia texted me something unusual. "Mia, work meeting ran late. Don't wait up. I might come over after 10. I looked at the message for a long time. 10 o'clock. That gave me maybe 2 hours. My heart started beating faster, not fear exactly. Excitement. Dangerous, electric excitement. Because I knew exactly what that meant. If Mia came over tonight, I would have to be careful. Very careful. I stood in front of my bedroom wardrobe. Inside were 2 separate lives. On the left side, normal clothes. Jeans, plain shirts, work outfits. On the right side, the hidden life. A black satin dress I bought from an online store using a fake delivery name. A long brown wig with soft waves. Light makeup kits. A pair of black high heels I practiced walking in while playing music loudly to hide the sound of my footsteps. Tonight felt different. Tonight felt heavier. Like something inside me was pushing forward, demanding freedom. I turned on soft music. The kind with slow piano notes. Then I started. First came the makeup. I applied foundation slowly, carefully. The sensation of the brush moving across my skin felt almost intimate, like I was painting a new identity onto my face. My hands were shaking slightly. Not from fear. From anticipation. I applied eyeliner, trying to keep the lines symmetrical. It took 3 tries, but I didn't rush. Cross-dressing for me was never about rushing transformation. It was about feeling each second change me slowly. Like watching winter turn into spring. Then came the wig. Putting it on always felt like stepping into another world. The moment the wig settled on my head, I felt my posture change automatically. My shoulders softened. My movements became slower. I looked at myself in the mirror. And for a moment, I didn't see Adrienne. I saw her. Someone fragile. Elegant. Hidden but finally breathing. I slipped into the black satin dress next. The fabric hugged my body tightly. The sensation was overwhelming. Cool silk against skin, tight around my waist, flowing loosely around my legs. I stood there, breathing slowly. I felt beautiful. And that feeling scared me more than anything. Because beauty felt like addiction. At 9:30 p.m., I heard footsteps in the hallway outside my apartment. My heart stopped for a second. I froze. But it was just my neighbor's dog running upstairs with its owner. Still, my anxiety was rising. Mia could arrive anytime. I walked toward the mirror again. The heels were next. The first step in heels always feels like learning to walk again. Click, click, click. Each step echoed through my apartment. I practiced walking from my bedroom to the living room and back again. My balance was improving, but I still felt vulnerable. Like I was standing on the edge of being discovered. And then, my phone rang. Mia's name appeared on the screen. My stomach tightened. Because she never calls unless something is urgent. I picked up. "Hey," I said, trying to keep my voice normal. There was a pause on the other end. Then Mia spoke. Her voice sounded strange. Not angry. Not happy. Just suspicious. "Adrienne," she said slowly. "Are you home alone?" I swallowed hard. "Yes," I said. But as I spoke, I heard something. Keys. Outside my apartment door. Slowly sliding into the lock. My blood went cold. Because Mia said, "Good. Because I'm standing outside your door, and I think you're hiding something from me." The moment I heard Mia's voice outside my apartment door, I forgot how to breathe. Not the dramatic movie kind of breathlessness. The real kind. The kind where your chest tightens and your brain starts throwing questions at you faster than you can answer them. Why is she here early? Did she suspect something? Did someone tell her? Or was this just coincidence turning into nightmare timing? I stood frozen in my high heels, staring at my reflection in the hallway mirror. Adrienne was still there, but she was stronger now. The woman inside me, the one I had been trying to keep hidden, suddenly felt like she was holding my shoulders from behind, whispering, "Don't panic. Just act normal." But how do you act normal when you are wearing a satin black dress and long lashes while your girlfriend is outside your door asking suspicious questions? The knocking started. Not loud. Not aggressive. Slow. Controlled. Mia never knocked like she was in a hurry. Even when she was upset, she stayed composed. That was her legal training showing through. "Adrienne," she called through the door. "I know you're home. I can see your lights are on." I cursed silently. Of course the lights were on. I had forgotten to turn off the living room lamp. Stupid mistake. Small mistakes are what gets secrets exposed. I walked slowly toward the door, my heels clicking softly against the wooden floor. Every step felt louder than it should have been. Click, click, click. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear blood rushing in my ears. I stopped behind the door. "Hey, Mia," I said, trying to sound casual. "You said you might come later. Is everything okay?" Silence. Then she spoke again. "Open the door, Adrienne." Not a request. A command disguised as a gentle voice. My mind started racing. If I opened the door like this, she would see everything immediately. The wig. The makeup. The dress. The vulnerability. The secret I had been protecting for years would explode in one moment of exposure. But if I didn't open the door, she would get more suspicious. Mia hated being ignored. I took a deep breath. Then I unlocked the door slowly. The metal lock made a small clicking sound that felt way too loud in the quiet hallway. Then I opened the door, just slightly. Not fully. Just enough to see her face. Mia was standing there wearing her lawyer work clothes. White blouse, dark blazer, pencil skirt. Her hair was slightly messy from wind outside. Her eyes immediately scanned my face. Too fast. Too sharp. Like she was reading evidence. "Why did it take you so long to open the door?" she asked. I laughed nervously. "Bathroom." She didn't smile. Instead, she pushed the door gently wider and stepped inside without waiting for permission. That was when I knew this was not a casual visit. This was an investigation. She walked past me slowly, looking around my apartment. "Nice music," she said casually. The piano music was still playing softly in the background. I closed the door behind her. My brain was screaming warnings. Change back. Now. Go to the bedroom. Remove the wig. Throw on normal clothes. But my body didn't move. Because part of me didn't want to hide tonight. Part of me wanted to be seen. Even if it destroyed everything. Mia turned around suddenly. Her eyes locked directly onto me. Her gaze stopped at my face. Then slowly moved downward. The dress. The heels. The makeup. She didn't react immediately. Just studied me. Like I was a case file she was building in her mind. "You look different tonight," she said. My throat felt dry. "I was just trying something new," I said. She walked closer. Each step she took felt heavier than the last. Then she reached out and touched my cheek. My body reacted instantly. I felt heat rushing through my skin. The sensation was overwhelming. No one had touched me while I was dressed like this before. Her fingers traced lightly under my eye. "You did your eyeliner better this time," she said quietly. My heart skipped. "Thanks," I whispered. Then she said something that nearly made my knees give out. "You look comfortable like this." Not judgmental. Not angry. Just observant. But then her phone vibrated. She glanced at it, frowned slightly, then turned back to me. "Adrian," she said slowly. "Did you invite someone else here tonight?" My stomach dropped. "No." "Why?" She didn't answer immediately. Instead, she walked toward my bedroom door. My panic level skyrocketed. Because inside that bedroom was my entire hidden world. Makeup kits. Extra clothes. Receipts from online stores. Everything that could destroy my life in one glance. "Mia," I said quickly, stepping in front of her. Too fast. Too obvious. She raised one eyebrow. "You are blocking me from something," she said calmly. I could feel sweat forming under the wig. Think. Then suddenly, someone knocked on my apartment door again. But this knock was different. Louder. More impatient. Mia turned slowly. "Expecting visitors?" she asked. I shook my head. But inside my chest, fear turned into absolute terror. Because I recognized that knock pattern. It was my coworker Daniel. The only colleague who knew I sometimes worked late at home. And Daniel was very loud. Very curious. And very bad at keeping secrets. Mia walked toward the door again. Slowly. Like a predator testing prey. "Let's see who is visiting you this late," she said softly. And I realized something horrifying. If Mia opened that door, Daniel would immediately recognize me in this outfit. And everything would collapse at once. My relationship. My secret life. My identity. Everything. I had to stop her. But my brain couldn't decide what was scarier. Being caught tonight. Or being forced to choose between the woman I love and the woman I secretly want to become. And then, my heels suddenly slipped on the wooden floor. I grabbed the wall to keep balance. But in the process, my wig shifted slightly, almost falling off. Mia turned slowly and stared directly at me. Her expression changed. Not angry, not shocked, just deeply, dangerously curious. And then she said something that made my entire world freeze. "Adrian, how long have you been hiding her?" Her question hung in the air like a loaded gun. "Adrian, how long have you been hiding her?" I felt like time slowed down. Not movie slow motion, Real psychological slow motion, where your brain processes every possible consequence of every word you might say. If I lied again, I would dig deeper into the hole I had been living in for years. If I told the truth, I didn't even know what would happen. Mia was still standing near my apartment door. The knocking outside had stopped. Daniel must have left. Or maybe he was waiting. Or worse, listening from the hallway. My heart was pounding so violently that I could hear the pulse in my ears. Thump, thump, thump. Mia didn't move. She just watched me, waiting, patient, like a prosecutor waiting for a witness to break under pressure. I don't know what you're talking about, I said weakly. She laughed softly, not cruelly, just sadly. You always do that, she said. You hide behind small lies. She took one step closer. Now she was close enough that I could smell her perfume, something floral mixed with sharp professional confidence. I noticed something months ago, Mia continued quietly. The way you look at women's clothing stores when we walk past them. My stomach tightened. You think I didn't notice how you studied fabric textures instead of prices? Another step closer. I noticed how you saved makeup tutorial videos in your browser history and labeled them as design researched. My mouth went dry. I didn't say anything, she said. Because I wanted you to trust me. Silence. Heavy silence. My emotional defense system started collapsing. I wasn't afraid of being judged. I was afraid of being misunderstood. Because cross-dressing for me was never about deception. It was about freedom. I swallowed hard. I don't do this because I want to lie to you, I said quietly. My voice was shaking now. I do this because, when I dress like this, I feel like I can breathe properly. Mia didn't interrupt. She just listened. That was worse. Because her silence meant she was thinking, analyzing, deciding. Then I said something I had never told anyone before. I've been like this since I was a kid. My voice cracked. My parents always wanted me to be strong, masculine, responsible, this stable son who takes care of everyone. I laughed bitterly. But I never felt like that person. I touched my dress slightly. This is not a disguise for me. My eyes started watering. This is who I feel I was always supposed to be. Mia's expression changed slightly. Not softer, not harder, just more complicated. Then she said something terrifyingly honest. I don't hate this about you, she said. I froze. But I hate that you felt like you had to hide it from me. She reached out again, this time touching my hand. Her fingers were warm, stable, grounding. You should have trusted me earlier, she whispered. Then suddenly, a loud sound came from the hallway. Someone was trying to open the apartment building's main door downstairs. Heavy footsteps echoed through the stairwell. Mia immediately turned toward the hallway window. Her eyes narrowed. Someone is coming upstairs, she said. My panic returned instantly, because I knew those footsteps. Daniel walked loudly when he was nervous. And Daniel was extremely curious about gossip. Mia, I said quickly, you should leave. She turned back to me. No, she said calmly. I want to know who else is involved in this. Before I could stop her, she walked toward my bedroom door again. I stepped in front of her again. But this time she noticed. Really noticed. You are protecting something inside that room, she said. Not a question. A statement. And then my worst fear happened. My wig suddenly shifted again. Because I had been sweating under the synthetic hair. One bobby pin loosened. Slowly, the wig began slipping backward. My heart stopped. I reached up instinctively to fix it. But Mia saw it. Her eyes widened slightly. Not shock. Recognition. Adrian, she whispered. My hands were shaking. The wig slipped another centimeter. I felt like I was standing between two realities. The man I had been forced to be, and the woman I had been trying to become. And then, the apartment door downstairs suddenly slammed open. Footsteps rushed up the stairs. Fast. Urgent. Someone was running. Daniel's voice echoed through the stairwell. Adrian, I need your help with something urgent. My blood turned to ice. Because Daniel was loud. Too loud. He was already shouting before reaching my floor. Mia turned slowly toward me. Her expression was unreadable now. Not angry, not happy, just waiting, watching what I would do next. The footsteps were getting closer. I had seconds, not minutes. Seconds. I had to choose. Open the door and face Daniel like this. Hide in the bedroom and risk Mia discovering everything. Confess everything right now and let chaos decide my fate. My wig slipped another inch. I grabbed it desperately. My reflection in the hallway mirror showed two versions of me. The man I had been raised to be, and the woman I had been hiding inside myself for years. And then Mia said quietly, "Adrian, who are you going to be when that door opens?" The footsteps stopped outside my apartment door. Someone knocked loudly. "Adrian, open up." My heart was about to explode. I didn't know if I was going to lose my girlfriend, or finally stop lying to myself. And I reached for the door handle, slowly, shaking, not knowing which life I was about to destroy. The knocking became louder, more aggressive. "Adrian, I know you're home," Daniel shouted from outside. My hand was still frozen on the door handle. Mia was standing behind me now, quiet, watching, waiting to see what I would do. The problem wasn't just being caught. It was how I would be caught. Because I was still wearing the dress. Still wearing the wig that was slowly slipping backward. Still wearing makeup that made me feel vulnerable and exposed in ways I had never experienced before. I turned slightly toward Mia. Her expression had changed again. Now she looked protective, not judgmental. Like she was preparing for a battle she wasn't sure she wanted to fight. "Open the door," she said quietly. I stared at her. "What?" She stepped closer to me. "If you keep hiding, you will lose control of how this story ends," she said. That sentence hit me harder than any accusation. Because Mia wasn't forcing me. She was giving me power. Terrifying power. Another loud knock. "Adrian, it's important," Daniel shouted. Then I heard him add something quieter. Something that made my stomach drop. "I know about your delivery packages. You forgot your office badge at work. I came to return it." My brain screamed in panic. My office badge was inside my bedroom drawer, right next to my makeup storage. If Daniel entered my apartment, it was over. I took a deep breath, then opened the door. Daniel burst inside immediately. He was breathing heavily, like he had run up 7 flights of stairs. "Dude, you left your badge." He stopped talking, because he finally looked at me, really looked at me. His eyes moved from my face, to my dress, to my heels, to my makeup. Silence filled the apartment. Long, heavy, uncomfortable. Then Daniel said, "Bro, are you doing some kind of cosplay or something?" His voice sounded confused rather than judgmental. But before I could answer, Mia spoke from behind me. "No," she said calmly. "He's not." Daniel turned and finally noticed Mia standing there. His face went pale. "Oh," he said slowly. "I didn't know you were here." Mia crossed her arms. "Now you do," she said. The tension was unbearable. Then something unexpected happened. Daniel started laughing nervously. "Okay, I'm not going to pretend I understand this," he said. "But honestly, you look good, man." No offense. That was not what I expected. Not rejection. Not shock. Just awkward acceptance. But Mia didn't relax. Because she was watching me, not Daniel. Waiting to see how I would react. And then, the emotional breaking point came. I felt something inside my chest finally snap open. All the years of hiding. All the fear of being judged. All the loneliness of locking my bedroom door at night to become someone else. I looked at Daniel. Then I looked at Mia. Then I said something I had never planned to say out loud. "I don't do this just for fun," I said quietly. My voice was trembling. "I do this because sometimes I feel more like myself when I dress like this than when I wear normal clothes." Daniel stopped smiling. Mia didn't move. "I'm scared of losing people," I continued. My voice cracked. "I'm scared of being rejected. I'm scared people will think I'm weird or broken." Tears started forming in my eyes. But I'm more scared of spending my entire life pretending to be someone I'm not. Mia walked toward me slowly. Then she did something unexpected. She hugged me. Not passionately. Not romantically. Just firmly. Like grounding someone who is emotionally drowning. "I didn't fall in love with who you pretend to be," she whispered. "I fell in love with how you treat people. How you think. How you care." I felt my tears fall silently. But then, my apartment phone started ringing. The landline phone. No one used that phone. I walked slowly toward it. Picked it up. "Hello," I said weakly. A voice on the other end made my blood run cold. It was my mother.
"Adrian," she said.
"How long have you been keeping secrets from us?" My entire body froze. Because I realized something horrifying. Someone had told her. Someone from my family knew. And I had no idea how much they knew. Or what they planned to do next. I looked at Mia. She was staring at me. Waiting. And I realized this was no longer just about cross-dressing. This was about identity. Family.
Love.
And whether I could survive being truly seen. My mother's voice came again through the phone. "We need to talk about what you've been hiding." And she sounded not angry, disappointed, which was somehow worse. I gripped the phone tighter, not knowing whether tonight would destroy my family, my relationship, or finally set me free. The silence after my mother's voice on the phone felt heavier than any scream. I could hear her breathing through the line.
Slow.
Controlled. Disappointed. Not angry. Disappointment always hurts more. "Adrian," she said again. "Who is that woman in your apartment?" My stomach tightened. I looked at Mia.
She was standing very still now,
watching me decide how much truth I was ready to destroy my life with. I swallowed hard. "She's my girlfriend," I said quietly. There was a pause. Then my mother said something that made my blood run cold. "Your aunt saw photos online." My brain went blank. "What photos?" I whispered. "She saw you," my mother said, "wearing women's clothing at a cafe downtown last month." My heart stopped. Because I remembered that day. I had been wearing simple feminine clothing, nothing extreme, just experimenting with how I felt in public. Someone had taken photos. Someone had recognized me. And sent them to my family. My mother continued. "Your father is very upset," she said. "But I'm more worried about you." That sentence hurt more than anger ever could. "You should have talked to us," she said softly. "I was scared," I said, my voice breaking. "I didn't know how you would react." Silence. Then she said something unexpected. "We are not asking you to stop being who you are," she said slowly. "We are asking why you felt you had to hide it from us for so long." I closed my eyes. Because that question was the real one. Not whether I was accepted, but whether I trusted my own family enough to be honest. Mia stepped closer and took my free hand.
She didn't speak.
Just stood beside me, supporting me without interrupting. That gave me strength. "I don't know what my future is," I told my mother. "But I know I can't keep living two lives forever." My mother sighed. "We will talk tomorrow," she said. Then she added quietly, "Bring Mia. We want to meet her." And then she hung up. I stood there, frozen, processing everything that had happened in the last hour. Then Daniel suddenly clapped my shoulder. "Well," he said awkwardly. "That was intense." I laughed weakly. He looked at Mia, then back at me. "Honestly," he said, "if you're happy, I think that's what matters." Then he left. Just like that. Sometimes acceptance doesn't come with speeches. Sometimes it comes with awkward friends leaving quietly. Mia turned toward me. Her eyes were softer now. "Are you okay?" she asked. I shook my head. "No," I said honestly. "But I feel lighter." She smiled slightly. Then something unexpected happened. She reached behind me and gently fixed my wig properly, carefully securing the loose bobby pin. That simple gesture almost broke me emotionally, because it felt like she wasn't trying to change me. She was trying to help me survive being myself. Later that night, we sat together on my couch. The city lights were glowing outside my window. I was still wearing the dress, but I didn't feel scared anymore. Not completely. Mia rested her head on my shoulder. "So," she said quietly. Is she going to stay? I knew what she meant.
The girl inside me.
The hidden version of myself. I thought about it for a long time. Then I said, she was always there. But just when I thought the night was over, my phone buzzed again. Unknown number. I hesitated, then answered. A distorted voice spoke. Not my mother. Not Daniel. Someone else. Someone who knew my secret. I saw you tonight, the voice said. You looked beautiful. My blood turned cold. Who is this? I whispered. The voice laughed softly. You'll find out soon, it said. Then added one final line that made my entire body go numb. I've been watching you for months. The call ended. I stood there in silence. Mia noticed my face change. What is it? She asked. I didn't answer. Because I realized something terrifying. The photos my aunt found, the person who called me, the one who had been watching me, was not random. It was someone who knew my daily routine. Someone close. Someone inside my life. And as I turned slowly toward my apartment window, I thought I saw a shadow move across the building across the street. Watching. Waiting. And I suddenly realized my story wasn't about being discovered. It was about who was trying to discover me next.